I started spending the family's money at age 7. In second grade, I maxed out 2 of my dad's credit cards in 3 days, 100 million each. In middle school, I went even further, selling off most of the company's stock, cashing out nearly 10 billion, and blowing through every last cent within a month. It triggered a financial earthquake across Tianhai and nearly cost my dad control of his own company. In just 10 years, I drained a company worth hundreds of billions dry. Then today, my dad calls to tell me the family's bankrupt and to come home and farm. Thousands of miles away, I feel none of the turmoil my dad must be drowning in. The news of bankruptcy doesn't bring grief or despair, just a long, quiet exhale of relief. I toss the mop aside and drop flat on the bathroom floor without a care in the world. Hey, you lousy system, you heard all that. My family's broke. Go find yourself another host. All the money I spent on you? Consider it dog food. Don't say that, host. The system is almost fully developed. You can't quit now. A mechanical voice slick with cunning echoes through my mind. The moment I hear it, my blood boils. Fully developed? Are you kidding me? I've poured over 10 billion into you. Even a pig would have given me piglets by now. All you do is scam me out of money. I'm done. For the sake of this so-called most powerful manufacturing system, I've been scrambling for money every single day. I even earned the title of Hua's #1 Wastrel. And for what? Everyone assumes I'm living a life of luxury and excess, but only the heavens know the truth. I am, without a doubt, the most miserable rich kid alive, while other rich kids cruise around in sports cars with beautiful people on their arms. I'm working odd jobs just to afford food, living on scraps every single day, all to scrape together enough money to feed the system. 10 years of this, and not a single sign of progress. I'm exhausted. I'm out. Host, we're so close, just 2.3 million more and it's done. Trust me, this lousy system has conned me more times than I can count. My dear host, this is truly the last transfer. The moment you send it, the system will be fully loaded. I check my account balance. After setting aside the flight home, exactly 2.3 million remains. This lousy system wants to drain me to the last drop. Not a chance. If I send another cent, I'm an idiot. Even if you dropped Iron Man suit blueprints right in front of me, I wouldn't transfer a single cent. My resolve is absolute. The words barely leave my mouth when my expression shifts, because right there in my mind, a full set of armored suit schematics appears. The design is breathtaking. My heart pounds faster. I feel myself losing control. What man alive could resist this? Host, I'm not lying to you, but at your current skill level, even with the blueprints, you couldn't build it. That's why you need me. Trust me, just 2.3 million more and the most powerful manufacturing system is yours. I swallow hard. Stay strong. This is a trap. I have to hold out. Fine, go ahead and transfer it. I cave. A second later, the bank notification pings. I've lost count of how many times I've gone dead broke. I dust myself off, get to my feet, and sigh. Whatever. After getting scammed this many times, what's one more? I've barely put the cleaning tools away when a sudden heaviness hits my head. Then a clear chime rings through my mind, followed by a cascade of mechanical announcements. Most powerful manufacturing system fully loaded. Host's base stats upgraded. Starter gift pack distributed. Shop is now open. I stand frozen. This time it's real. The lousy system actually came through. As my mind sinks in, the system's personal dashboard comes into view. Host, Cole. Manufacturing level, 1. Prestige, 0. Wealth, 20,000. Appearance, 88. Math, 61. Physics, 60. Chemistry, 60. Biology, 60. Computing, 60. Language, 100. I stare at my stats and feel my temper flare. That's it? This is your big upgrade? Why is everything just barely passing? Host, this is the absolute ceiling of the system's enhancement. A score of 60 already surpasses the vast majority of people on Earth. In math alone, at least 99% of the global population falls below you. I cross my arms. Not good enough. My appearance score is too low. Bump it up or I want a refund. After a round of fierce negotiation, I successfully talked the system into pushing my appearance score up to 92. Now I can truly shine out there. And along the way, I figure out how the system actually works. To build better things, I first need to raise my manufacturing level. At level 1, there's no chance of crafting anything like an armored battle suit. I also need to boost my base science stats, because great inventions have to be built by me, not handed over for free. There are 2 main ways to level up: prestige points and wealth points. Fame and fortune, plain and simple. Blueprints and crafting tools in the shop also require one or the other to unlock. I take a long, deep breath, because it's finally time for the moment I've been waiting for, opening the starter gift pack. 10 years of feeding this system. Surely the starter gift pack won't disappoint. 1 math solver card, difficulty 60. 1 mini graphene battery blueprint. Seriously, that's it? At least throw in a cold fusion battery. The haggling fails this time. I grudgingly accept the underwhelming starter gift pack. Before heading home, I make a stop at the school lab. I put together a working sample of the mini graphene battery. Once I'm back home, I won't have the luxury of being a well-funded rich kid anymore. The resources to build something like this might not be available to me. Northstar Academy may not be the most impressive school in the world, but their equipment is top-notch, worth every cent of that outrageous tuition. The school is more than happy to see me go. At a school full of rich kids, tuition is just the beginning. There's always a second round of income to be squeezed out, but not with me. Not only does the school fail to get a second dime out of me, they've been paying me a generous salary. The kid did work hard scrubbing bathrooms every day. Well, The broke one's finally gone. But now who's going to clean the bathrooms? The principal sighs, equal parts relieved and troubled. Principal, where's Cole? An old man bursts into the office in a panic. Gone. Should be at the airport by now. You fool. You just let a once-in-a-generation genius walk out the door. Someone who could have made Grandeur Academy legendary. The principal stares, completely baffled. A 17-year-old designing an experiment like that? My God, this boy is destined to change the world. The old man is beside himself with regret. The principal hasn't the faintest clue what's going on. Sitting on the plane, I check my panel. My prestige points have jumped to 340. Then it hits me. I forgot to wipe the operation log when I made the battery sample. Someone must have found it. I'm not worried. The log alone isn't enough to reverse engineer the final product. On top of that, actually using the battery requires a custom conductive interface. My battery remains one of a kind. Since I have no immediate use for the prestige points, I dump them all into upgrading my manufacturing level. The lousy system warned me. Until I hit manufacturing level 2, none of my base science stats, except language, can break past 60. That extra point in math is my reward for 10 years of feeding the system. What a ripoff. Still, seeing the experience bar tick up to 3001 does bring a little satisfaction. Level 2 shouldn't be too far off. What's the exchange rate if I use wealth points? 10,000 per experience point, of course. The lousy system never stops finding ways to drain me. From now on, I'll level up with prestige points only. Not one more cent goes to this lousy system. I make that vow silently. The moment I step out of the airport, I spot my parents holding a sign. They're dressed sharp, surrounded by 7 or 8 bodyguards. I blink. Luxury car, full security detail. Are these really bankrupt people? Something doesn't add up. The moment I walk over, Lily pulls me into a tight hug. I'm so sorry, baby. Leaving you out there alone for so long. Look at you. You've gotten so thin. I told your father 8 million a month was never enough. It's my fault. I should have been wiring you money on the side. Victor's eyelid twitches. This woman is about to cause a disaster. Haven't you done enough damage already? Mom, aren't we bankrupt? Victor opens his mouth, but Lily cuts in first. Your dad's company is gone, yes, but I still have money, so don't you worry. Anything you need, just say the word, I'll send it right over. Great. The lousy system definitely just heard all of that. It's only a matter of time before it comes looking for more. As if on cue, a chime rings and a new quest appears on my panel. What kind of master craftsman has no company of his own? As the sole heir of Starlight Technology, reviving it is your duty. Quest. Clear all of Starlight Technology's debts, restore full operations, and relaunch the business. Reward, 900 prestige points, 1 charm point, and 1 free shop draw. I breathe easy. It's still a money-related quest, but at least this time it's not going into the system's pocket. Dad, is there really no saving the company? I ask, testing the waters. Victor looks at me with quiet pride. My boy's finally grown up, actually asking about the company instead of just asking for money. But it's hopeless. The financial gap is too wide. Competition's been brutal these past 2 years, and we haven't landed a decent deal in ages. Guilt washes over me. I'm sorry. If I hadn't kept draining the company's funds, it wouldn't have come to this. Lily waves it off, clearly annoyed. Don't you dare blame yourself. So you spent some money. Big deal. That company of your dad's was never going to make much anyway. Bankrupt with or without you, eventually. Victor is visibly pained, but as the lowest-ranking member of this household, he swallows it. Honestly, Lily isn't entirely wrong. I'm not going to get into who's really to blame for the bankruptcy. All that matters now is Starlight Technology has to survive. Mom, how much money do you have? As much as Lily loves her son, unconditionally, in every way, something about those words makes her heart flinch. This precious son of mine, done wrecking his father, now coming for his mother? Not much in cash, but I've got real estate, stocks, things like that. None of it is tied to your dad's company. It's all yours. Mom, I want to bring Starlight Technology back. Do you even have enough for that? Lily stares, speechless. Victor breaks into a cold sweat. Victor had barely managed to cut his losses and save what little remained, scraping together a last lifeline for the family. And now this kid wants to throw it all away. Victor clears his throat. Son, leave the company business to me. You're young. Focus on school. I'll find you a new school in a few days. Just study quietly for a couple of years. I'm not having any of it. I wrap my arms around Lily's and plead. Mom, trust me. Give me the money, and I will bring Starlight Technology back. If I could take it down, I can bring it back up. Victor's face falls into pure despair. It's over. This foolish son of his just can't stop. Life feels very, very long. I take Lily's phone and start going through her assets right away. I have no idea if it'll be enough to save Starlight Technology. Dad, roughly how much are we talking? Victor's face goes ash gray. Silence. He refuses to answer. Lily swallows. Sweetheart, the court is coming to seal the premises the day after tomorrow. There's no way you can pull together enough cash in time. Victor perks right up. Right. No liquid cash. Even if the kid wants to go on a spending spree, he can't. I frown. What about a bank loan? Lily's expression goes strange. She doesn't quite know how to respond. Victor lets out a short laugh. Son, you really think the bank would lend us anything? The bank is our single biggest creditor. We've been blacklisted. Do you have any idea how hard I worked to hold on to even this much? I sigh, while I rack my brain for a way to liquidate assets fast. Aren't we going home? I suddenly notice that we're heading in completely the wrong direction. It's Stella's 17th birthday today. We're heading to their place for a free dinner. Lily explains. I just got home and we're already talking bankruptcy and dinner parties. The company's collapse has Lily spooked. She's decided it's time to tighten the belt. A free dinner is still a free dinner. Stella? My eyes go wide. No way. First day back and I already have to face her? Victor nods. That's right. What a shame, really. Back in the day, I got her father drunk and scored a signed marriage contract. Then I lost the thing. And now with our situation, we can hardly go knocking on their door. Lily shakes her head in disappointment. How do you lose something that important? Stella would have been the perfect daughter-in-law and you just threw it away. I quietly look down at the floor. The truth is the marriage contract wasn't lost. I stole it. Back then, desperate to fund the system, I swiped the contract and sold it back to Stella for $50 million. That has to be the most absurd breakup in history. At first, Stella thought she'd gotten the better end of the deal. Then the more she thought about it, the more wrong it felt. This guy shows up to break off the engagement and makes her pay for the privilege? The nerve. She came looking for payback, but I was already gone overseas. The whole thing just fizzled out. I'm about to make up an excuse to skip the dinner when something clicks. Stella's birthday. There'll be plenty of wealthy guests there, right? Pretty much all big money. If I didn't go way back with Harold, we probably wouldn't have even made the list. I grin. A room full of rich people. Sounds like the perfect chance to cash out. A quest needs completing. Pride can wait. The moment the three of us arrive at the SU family estate, the commotion starts instantly. Hua's #1 Wastrel, the 10-year spending champion, Tianhai's money-scattering king, a living legend walks among them. He's back. Young Cole, you're finally back. Any longer and I don't know how I would have survived. A chubby, overeager man throws himself at my leg. I'm genuinely touched. This is Rico. Back when I had nothing to eat, he was always the one who looked out for me. You have no idea. Without you around as a reference point, my dad's been riding me harder than ever. Used to be once a week. Now it's 3 times a day. Man, life's been rough. Get off me. I'm done being a wastrel. From today, I'm bringing the family back to glory. Rico's tiny eyes go wide. No more spending? I don't bother explaining. I'm already moving. Because a girl in a moonlit white dress is storming straight toward me, fury in every step. I turn to face her with a resigned smile. Stella, long time no see. You get more beautiful every time. Stella lets out a sharp huff. Didn't expect you to actually come back. I figured you'd just stay overseas forever. How could I? You've been thinking about me this whole time. It'd be rude to make you wait any longer. I caught the earliest flight. For the sake of the quest, I'll say anything. Happy birthday, Stella. I pull a silver hair clip from my pocket. It was meant for my little cousin, but it'll have to do. Stella came over ready to snap at me, but this catches her completely off guard. She takes it with a flushed face and dashes back inside. Watching her go, I can't help but think. She's really grown into herself these past 2 years. And thinking back to that marriage contract, man, I really sold myself short. The more I think about it, the worse it stings. Then, a flash of inspiration. I head straight after her. I've always believed that as a top-tier rich playboy, walking in and out of a noble young lady's room is perfectly normal, so I stroll right in like I own the place. Stella is sitting there, turning the hair clip over in her hands, completely unaware anyone has entered. Then a shriek cuts through the air. I lunge forward and clap a hand over her mouth. Don't scream, I'm not here to cause trouble. The last thing I need is everyone downstairs rushing up. What are you doing? Her face is burning red. Nothing in her life has prepared her for this. I slowly release my hand. Look, I just need to discuss something with you. That marriage contract I gave you 2 years ago, it was actually a copy. The original is still with me. For reasons she can't quite explain, Stella's heart is racing. Her dad, honestly, a few drinks and he signed her life away to this wastrel of all people. But then she thinks, wait, has he gotten better looking? Here's the deal. I'll keep it at 50 million, same as before. Send the money, and I'll bring you the real contract to tear up myself. Absolutely not, you shameless jerk. Get out. Half the villa hears her furious screaming. When I slink back out of Stella's room, every eye in the room locks onto me. Classic. Only the spending champion would have the nerve. Mr. Su, what if I told you Stella and I were just talking business? Would you believe me? Not a chance. A fist the size of a sandbag comes flying straight at my face. I end up with a full black eye. The rest of the dinner is completely joyless. Lily fusses over me the entire time, dabbing ointment on my eye every few minutes. Victor, on the other hand, can barely hide his satisfaction. Should have just stayed in your lane instead of bothering the SU family's little princess. Harold, well done. I shoot Stella a wounded look across the table, only to find her sticking her tongue out at me with a smug grin, which makes it so much worse. As the dinner winds down and Harold steps away from his seat, I take my chance. I slide quietly over to Stella. Stella, your family must have a microphone somewhere, right? Let me borrow it. Stella tells herself she should ignore me, yet somehow she asks anyway. What do you need a microphone for? I meet her eyes, my expression serious and steady. There's something important I need to announce, something the whole world needs to hear. Stella presses both hands to her burning cheeks. He's not about to confess in front of everyone, is he? She's not ready for that. No wonder he brought up the marriage contract the moment he got back. He's a wastrel, sure, but he really is kind of handsome. Even with that black eye, honestly. 1,000 thoughts rush through her mind in the span of a single second. She freezes completely. Stella, is that okay? Without knowing why, Stella nods. Where's the microphone? She points toward the counter nearby. Stella stares at the floor, too flustered to look at me. She's wondering if she should slip away, because she is genuinely not ready for this. I don't notice any of it. I grab the microphone, clear my throat, and speak up without hesitation. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. The moment my voice fills the room, every head turns. Harold settles back into his seat next to Victor, staring at Victor and Lily with a deeply puzzled expression. Victor and Lily exchange a helpless glance. Not once in his life have they ever correctly guessed what he's about to do. Harold glances over at Stella. Her face is red, her expression tense. He quietly clenches his fist. If this little punk dares to get any ideas, I'll make sure the other eye matches. Everyone thinks I'm a wastrel, but I'm here to say, that's nothing but a world of ignorance. Because I don't just know how to spend, I know how to build. Rico scratches his head below, troubled. Is he actually serious? Does that mean I'm next in line for the title? The moment I stepped off the plane, I learned that Starlight Technology had gone under, and I'm not going to stand here and pretend that doesn't weigh on me. As the sole heir of Starlight Technology, it is my responsibility to bring it back. The wealthy guests exchange bewildered glances. What is this kid pulling? Revive Starlight Technology. Is he serious? Stella watches me too, clearly confused. This isn't what she was expecting at all. And why does that leave her feeling strangely disappointed? This time, I'm going to change every single one of your minds and show the world. I am not a wastrel, I am a genius, and I'm going to prove every last one of you wrong. A stunned silence falls over the room. No one has the faintest idea how he plans to pull that off. Simple. Clear the debt, then launch a project that prints money. The hall erupts in laughter. Easy to say, but do you have the money? Do you even have a project? Their mockery doesn't touch me. As someone destined for greatness, I've long since made peace with being underestimated. I know none of you would lend money to my family, so I'm proposing a fair deal instead. I've just gone through the family's remaining assets, a few pieces of idle land and some properties. Yours tonight for 70% of market value. Cash only. No tricks. No waiting. Right here, right now. Dead silence. Every jaw in the room drops. Then one person cracks and the whole hall dissolves into laughter. Rico alone looks on with tears welling up in his eyes. That's my brother right there. Many eyes drift to Victor and Lily. Truly remarkable parents. The two of them sit there, faces flushed with humiliation, wishing the floor would swallow them whole. If they could disown him right now, they just might. I press on. Don't look at my parents, they're fully on board. If you're interested, act now. This offer expires the moment I step down. Land always holds its value. Property is always in demand. What are you waiting for? I watch the greed flash behind their eyes, raw and impossible to hide, and the knot in my chest finally loosens. We've got the cash. Starlight Technology is going to make it. In under 15 minutes, I've liquidated the last of the family's assets. $3 billion in cash. That should be more than enough. Victor stares at the company account balance and looks like a man who has accepted his fate. Fine. The boy means well. One more round of chaos for this old body. Young Cole, you're truly the greatest benefactor Tianhai has ever seen. Someone raises a glass of champagne in my direction. I accept it with a grin and drink. You flatter me. This was just business. Nothing charitable about it. The man, let's call him Mr. Bai, barely holds back a laugh. Of course. Fighting for family and country. A true great man. I can't help but grin. First time anyone's ever called me a great man. I could get used to that. I turn back to the crowd. Since we've just done business together, let me offer one final friendly tip. Anyone looking to buy Starlight Technology stock, now is the time. Because once we come back, there won't be any left. Several guests clutch their stomachs laughing as they say their goodbyes to Harold. They can't take any more. One more minute and they'll die laughing. As the crowd begins to thin, and we prepare to head home, Stella pulls me aside into her room. Not like it's the first time. Is your family really that short on cash? Pretty much. You know how it is. Starlight Technology's on the edge. I had to do something. But my dad says it's not just a money problem. Is what you're doing actually going to help? Trust me, I'm going to make Starlight Technology a beacon for all of humanity. Stella gives the most adorable eye roll. After a long moment of hesitation, she reaches into her bedside drawer and pulls out a black card. This is what I've saved up over the past 2 years. Should be just under 60 million. The password is my birthday. Take it. My eyes light up. I take the card, genuinely embarrassed. What a good-hearted girl. Though, 60 million saved in 2 years, she's almost keeping pace with the old me. Don't worry, I'll bring you the real contract. Guaranteed authentic. Get out. Lucky for me, I'm fast enough. The other eye survives intact. The asset sale tonight, beyond raising the cash, also earned me 100 prestige points. I have no idea how the system calculates these things. A deal worth hundreds of millions, and it earns me less prestige than one lab experiment at school. Back in the car, I finally get to ask, Dad, is this enough? Victor lets out a long, weary sigh. The thing is, Starlight Technology's problem was never just money. The company's been dormant for over half a year. No orders, no projects. That's the real problem. I smile calmly and pat my chest. Leave that to me. You get the company back on its feet. I'll find the orders. Victor doesn't know what to say. A kid who's grown up, but only halfway, is somehow the most exhausting kind. The next morning, I'm up before dawn. I come downstairs to find Victor already dressed and heading out. Off to the office already? Yeah, no time to waste. Things are what they are. Your dad's going to give it one more fight. The words hit deep. I make a silent vow. I'll build my dad into the richest person on the planet, so he can finally rest and enjoy life. Dad, use this chance to clean house. Kick out everyone who's been bleeding the company dry. Victor gives a small, knowing shrug. He was already planning to. Hard times reveal true faces, and Victor has seen plenty of them clearly now. If Starlight Technology is going to rise again, dead weight has to go. And about the projects, don't stress just yet. I'll land a major deal today. We'll figure out the rest from there. Victor stops in his tracks. Son, are you still half asleep? Go back to bed. You're still growing. I've long since made peace with being underestimated. Dad, watch. By tonight I'll have a contract from Dragon Crest Group. Victor blinks, then laughs. Dragon Crest Group. Sure you will, son. It's not until Victor reaches the office that he remembers. Dragon Crest Group is holding a bidding event in Tianhai today, looking for manufacturers to assemble 2 new phone models. Starlight Technology in its current state clearly doesn't qualify. This feast is out of their reach. He shakes his head and pushes the thought aside. Victor throws himself into work. He has to admit, his son's all-or-nothing move has rekindled something. The fire he felt when he first started out. Meanwhile, after finishing breakfast, I hop on a shared bike and pedal toward Dragon Crest Plaza. No choice. Every luxury car we had was sold off last night. In addition to the bidding, Dragon Crest Group is also holding a press conference today. The plaza is packed, industry insiders and reporters everywhere. I take in the sea of people before me, and something stirs in my chest. A true man stands at the peak, looking down on the world below. I'm mid-monologue when a familiar sports car rolls past. Young Cole, what are you doing here? It's Rico, driving the very car he picked up from our garage this morning. The one silver lining, Rico paid above market price. That counts for something. I've got some business here. What about you? My family's here for the bidding. My dad insisted I come see how things work. My eyes light up. So you've got an invitation from Dragon Crest Group? I was just wondering how I was going to get inside, and here you are. Yeah, Dad gave me one. Said it'd be good to see what Dragon Crest is working on. Perfect. Take me in with you. I slide into what used to be my car like it's the most natural thing in the world. Rico panics. What are you going in for? Talk to Dragon Crest about something. You don't have an invitation? Forgot it. Compared to the chaos outside, the building is far quieter. Not many companies actually qualify to bid. Since most of the attendees are from Tianhai, everyone does a double take when they spot me. What is the Wastrel doing here? Young Cole, is Starlight Technology here to bid? Everyone knows that's impossible. But someone asks anyway. I shake my head. No, I'm here to discuss a partnership with Dragon Crest. And there it is. Wherever I go, the jokes write themselves. What kind of partnership, young Cole? Co-developing a new phone together? Vera walks in, surveys the messy atmosphere, and wrinkles her nose slightly. These Tianhai companies leave a lot to be desired. I've reviewed all your submitted proposals. Our CEO has had to return to headquarters. As I'm needed to host the press conference shortly, each company has 3 minutes to make their case. Let's not waste time. Vera is nothing if not efficient. She gets straight to business the moment she sits. The moment I see Vera, I feel a surge of relief. Someone I actually know. Today must be my lucky day. Vera spots me too. She's clearly puzzled by my presence but says nothing. She's too busy to deal with me right now. Half an hour later, Vera closes her notebook. We'll be in touch with our decision. Those interested in the Dragon Crest press conference are welcome outside. We've reserved seats for everyone. I jump to my feet. Vera, wait. I need a word with you. Mr. Cole, please address me as Director Yue. Whatever it is, it can wait. It can't. It's urgent, Vera. I have something incredible to show you. The room goes silent. Everyone has the same thought. Typical. They're all used to it by now. Back in the office, Vera stares at me with thinly veiled exasperation. All right, what is it you actually want? Starlight Technology wants to partner with Dragon Crest. Vera shakes her head. I spoke with your father 2 weeks ago. Bankruptcy was the best outcome for him. I won't compromise Dragon Crest's interests just to do you a favor. Vera, do you know what graphene is? I've heard of it. It's been a hot research topic. But these so-called new materials are mostly hype. I've built one. 2 minutes to charge. 5 hours of call time. 3 times the energy storage of a lithium battery. Vera raises an eyebrow. Cole, I didn't know you'd picked up bragging on top of spending. Let me show you the sample. Do you have a lab in the building? Something in my expression gives her pause. She picks up her phone. Professor Wang, are you in the building? Head to the lab and wait for me. Vera fixes me with a look that means business. You do know what happens if you're wasting my time, right? 1 hour later, I walk out of the building with Dragon Crest Group's preliminary partnership agreement in hand, and a spring in my step. Rico stares. Young Cole, Dragon Crest actually agreed to work with you? Of course. They were practically begging. Rico looks unconvinced. He's always assumed his best friend's reckless spending was the result of some deeper issue upstairs. Now it seems the condition may have worsened. Hey, what's that mark on your face? My face goes red. That's on Vera. Completely unprofessional. The moment the test succeeded, she grabbed me and kissed my cheek. Absolutely outrageous. It's nothing. Vera just accidentally kissed me just now. Young Cole, should I take you to the hospital? No, just take me home. Dragon Crest Group's press conference wraps up without a hitch. But compared to the event itself, what the business world is buzzing about is the announcement Vera makes at the end. Dragon Crest Group will be partnering with Starlight Technology to develop a groundbreaking new phone, a titan at the height of its power, joining hands with a company on the edge of collapse, to build something groundbreaking. It makes no sense to anyone. Tianhai's elite can't stop talking about it. Victor, meanwhile, only finds out about it when a crowd of shareholders storms into his office to congratulate him. Victor, you sly fox, we had no idea you had this up your sleeve. Victor, all these years and you never said a word. With Dragon Crest behind you, we're going to come back stronger than ever. Victor, just give the word. We've got your back, whatever you need. Victor is at a complete loss for words. Are these really the same people who wouldn't even take his calls a few months ago? These so-called brothers are a disgrace. Starlight Technology needs a full sweep, starting now. Then the other camp speaks up. Victor, how could you? All these years, I had you completely wrong. Don't think that landing Dragon Crest means you're safe. Dragon Crest has sky-high standards. Starlight Technology is going to embarrass itself. That's right, don't celebrate yet, Victor. With that Wastrel son of yours around, it doesn't matter how much you make, he'll burn through it all. And when you hit rock bottom again, don't come crawling back. Victor leans back in his chair without a care. He's done wasting energy on people like this. Once he clears them out, he heads straight home. He doesn't seriously think I had anything to do with Dragon Crest. And yet, I said this morning I was going to land a deal with them. And by afternoon, Dragon Crest announced a partnership with Starlight Technology at their press conference. No matter how he looks at it, something doesn't add up. When Victor gets home, I'm sitting there with a laptop, eyes bright, completely absorbed. No one has any idea what I'm working on. In reality, I'm testing the limits of my own abilities. The system claims a base score of 60 already makes me a genius among geniuses, but that's just the system talking. I need to see for myself. Today went well, so I came home early to run some tests. The results are more than satisfying. I pull up a full set of competition-level questions in math, physics, and chemistry, and breeze through every single one without breaking a sweat. What surprises me even more is my language ability. Any language, any script from anywhere in the world. One listen. One glance. Understood. That's just how extraordinary I am. I lean back and laugh at the ceiling. So this is what it feels like to be a genius. What's gotten into you? Did you actually go to Dragon Crest today? Did something happen to you? Victor rushes in, full of concern. I close the laptop when I see him, and settle back to normal. Then I casually pull a crumpled document out from under me. I hand it to Victor. What are you talking about? Dragon Crest isn't bullying anyone. This is our preliminary partnership agreement with Dragon Crest. Take a look. You have 3 days to go sign the formal contract. Victor stares. You've been sitting on something this important? But he can't afford to dwell on that. He reads through it carefully. When he reaches the end, Victor draws a sharp breath. This is actually a real partnership? Not outsourcing. Not contract manufacturing. An equal partnership? How is this possible? Victor asks. Who signed this? Vera. Her name's right there. And by the way, she's already vice president of Dragon Crest. The Yue family is clearly grooming her to take over. Victor still can't wrap his head around it. Vera, sharp, calculating, the one woman who even makes him nervous, willingly signed this? Son, Vera didn't pressure you into anything, did she? I give him a look and hand him the laptop. What are you imagining? I'm not that kind of person. This is what I traded. Starlight Technology shares the technology with Dragon Crest. In return, we co-develop their next flagship phone and put Starlight's name back on the map. Victor goes quiet. He's completely absorbed in the graphene battery research notes. Half an hour passes before he looks up, and when he does, he can't calm down. The research notes hit just as hard as the Dragon Crest agreement. Now he understands why Vera signed. If he were in her position, he'd have agreed to anything. He rushes into my room, barely able to contain himself. Son, where did you get this? Please tell me you didn't rob a Westland National Lab. I'm immediately offended. Dad, I've never once doubted your ability to make money. How could you doubt my genius? I researched this myself. That is, without question, the most outrageous thing Victor has heard all day. He has no idea how it was done, but he's pacing the room with excitement anyway. Finally, Victor collects himself. Then it hits him. Son, did we just massively undersell ourselves? Something this valuable? Why would you agree to share it for free? I square my shoulders. Because I believe in this country. Dad, relax. This is just a stepping stone. Within 2 years, something better will replace it, and we won't have lost a thing. More importantly, this shows Dragon Crest we're serious. They'll treat us as real partners, and Starlight Technology will rise faster for it. Something better? Victor stares blankly. That's beyond anything he can picture. Starlight Technology won't stop at phones. Quantum computers, aerospace craft, interstellar warships, planetary engines, we're building all of it. I lay out the vision in full. Victor looks slightly dazed. My boy, you've really grown up. I was planning to keep it simple. Find you a decent school on a budget, but with ambitions like yours, I'll get you into the best university money can buy. Pay to get in. I laugh. Does a once-in-a-generation genius really need to buy his way into school? Just then, a chime rings in my head. A new quest from the system. It occurs to me that Host is still not yet 18. Go to university, show the world what you're made of, crush every genius of your generation, just as the greats before you did. Quest. Pass Northstar Academy's entrance exam with a perfect score in every subject. Reward. 10,000 prestige points, 1 charm point, 1 freshman gift pack, and 2 shop vouchers worth 5 million each. Valid on wealth point purchases only. While I read through the quest, Victor is running through his own short list of schools. Tianhai Finance University is close to home but pricey. Old Song had to donate a whole building just to get his kid in. Capital University is farther away but more reasonably priced. Shijing University is solid too. A few of his friends' kids paid their way in. I cut through Victor's deliberations. I want to go to Northstar Academy. What? Victor goes blank. The shocks just keep coming today, one after another. Northstar Academy is Hua's top university, ranked in the global top 20. Everyone who walks through its doors is the best of the best. Getting in is nearly impossible. Northstar Academy doesn't participate in Hua's national entrance exam. Every year, they set their own questions and run their own selection process. To even sit the exam, candidates must first receive an official invitation. That alone filters out 99% of applicants. Of the 10,000 who make it to the exam, only 500 are admitted. Every single one of them is the top of the top, a genius among geniuses. So when Victor hears his son wants to sit the Northstar exam, the look on his face says it all. In the past, he would have talked him out of it immediately. But things are different now. The kid built a mini graphene battery. He's clearly gifted. Maybe it's worth letting him try. Even if he doesn't make it, the experience will do him good. The only issue is getting an invitation. Besides the exam route, Northstar does have a talent recruitment pathway. But the application window has already closed. And what recognized talent does the boy even have on paper? Should he reach out to Northstar professors with the graphene battery? But would that compromise the Dragon Crest deal? Victor is genuinely stuck. Wait until the product launches and then approach the academy? Would they even take notice by then? I can see exactly what's going through his head. Dad, I think you're overthinking it. I'm going to earn my place at Northstar, through the exam, the proper way. Victor's eyes go wide. Son, do you have any idea how brutal that exam is? Every subject has to be at the absolute top level. I know you're strong in chemistry and material science, but what about everything else? You're seriously doubting your own son's genius? Name one exam I've ever let you down on. Victor nods slowly. The problem is, this Wastrel has barely sat a single exam in his entire life. Every time exam season came around, the boy was on vacation, and the Northstar invitations have practically all been sent out. Where is he supposed to get one? I smile. Dad, did you forget who I am? I'm an overseas student. The domestic invitations are gone, but the overseas quota should still be open. Grandeur Academy is one of Westland's top high schools, and I was a model student there. Surely that earns me an invitation. Victor winces. This kid, the ways he finds to spend money just never end. Are you sure about this? 100%. Victor nods. All right, prepare well, stay calm, and don't put too much pressure on yourself. If you don't make it, that's okay. Your dad's used to disappointment. I shake my head. The road to proving one's genius is long and thankless. After the conversation, Victor leaves to handle the rest, coordinating with Dragon Crest on the partnership details, syncing up the labs, cleaning house internally, and reorienting the company's priorities. He's going to be buried in work for a while. For me, it's a different story. I flip through a few past Northstar exam papers and feel immediately at ease. These questions are supposed to filter out the best minds in the country. In the time that follows, I keep busy. I make a name for myself in the hacking world almost overnight. But since I'm not using my real name, none of it converts to prestige points. Not that I'm doing it for prestige anyway. I need cash. I've committed to using only prestige points for system upgrades, but a man still needs spending money. I hack my way into two of Hua's biggest tech giants, and along the way, fix several long-standing vulnerabilities for them. Total commission, 20 million. I'm now on retainer as a security consultant for both companies. These tech giants have money to burn. No wonder everyone wants to go into tech. The story spreads fast through the hacking community. Elite hackers everywhere are calling me a legend and giving me the affectionate title of Dog God. Lily watches me stay home every day and grows increasingly worried. He won't take their money. He just sits there with his laptop. Is this really their son? I don't bother explaining. As for Victor, he's so swamped he barely sleeps. No time to check on me even if he wanted to. Finally, the day of the Northstar Academy exam arrives. I grab 2 pens, hop on a shared bike, and head to the exam site nice and early. According to the admissions announcement, including the overseas quota, Northstar Academy issued a total of 300 invitations in Tianhai this year. But when I arrive at Tianhai High School, the only exam venue in the city, the crowd is staggering. We're talking not 300 people, but easily over 3,000. And Tianhai High School is still in session on top of that. I blink, confused. I run into Rico on the side of the road shortly after, and he clears things up. Young Cole, I heard you were going for Northstar. Didn't think you were serious. How do you always find so many creative ways to throw your life away? I look up at the sky and sigh. 10 years of being written off. That's not something you shake overnight. I skip the explanation. What about you? Here to sit the exam? Rico shakes his head. Me? Not a chance. I'm just here to absorb some of the energy. My dad says everyone here today is an exam god among exam gods. Maybe a little of that luck rubs off on me before my own test next month. Smart thinking. Though with this many people trying to absorb the same luck, 300 of us isn't going to stretch very far. Rico makes a face. You don't count, young Cole. Just my luck. First person I run into. Guess I'm not getting any today. Oh, by the way, my family landed a manufacturing contract from Dragon Crest. Looks like we'll be working closely with Starlight Technology going forward. Is that right? Congratulations. Rico doesn't look as pleased as expected. Honestly, young Cole, how did Starlight Technology land Dragon Crest? That's the biggest mystery in the business world right now. What do you mean land? Dragon Crest came to us. Starlight Technology's capabilities are beyond anything you can imagine. Rico clearly doesn't buy it. He lowers his voice. Have you heard what people are saying? Word around the circle is, Vera has a thing for you, that you spent 7 days and 7 nights with her to clear your name, and Dragon Crest stepped in as a favor. I explode. Who's spreading that garbage? Do I look like that kind of person? I'd sell my soul before I'd sell my dignity. I believe you, man, of course I do. But you've been completely off the grid lately. And you've got to admit, your face is kind of the type that attracts wealthy admirers. True, aside from being Hua's #1 wastrel, I've also been a perennial fixture on the most desired by wealthy women list. And now that the system has boosted my charm stat, it's even worse. Even Rico thinks I'm handsome. I want to cry. I've been home, making money. Rico pats my shoulder with deep sympathy. I get it, man. Earning money. You work so hard. I really need to be more careful with my spending. I can't end up like you. Get lost. I give him a kick and head inside. I've had enough. I make my way into the school to find the exam hall. Outside the exam room, I run into another familiar face, Stella. Unlike me, Stella didn't scramble for her invitation at the last minute. She's been a top student her whole life, the kind of kid every parent points to as an example. When she sees me, her face goes through an entire journey, first happy, then annoyed, then quietly resentful, and finally a helpless sigh. So many feelings all at once. I'm completely oblivious to all of it. I walk over with a grin. Stella, how's the prep going? With your track record, I'd say you've got nothing to worry about. 6 years apart, and it looks like we're going to be classmates again. Don't worry. I may have picked on you back in elementary school, but in university, I'll have your back. Stella isn't even sure what exactly she's angry about. His arrogance, his carefree attitude, or those rumors. She stomps her foot. Then she turns and walks into the exam hall, pausing at the door to glance back. Do your best. Think of it as practice for the national exam next month. After the Northstar selection exam comes the regular national entrance exam for everyone else. Ha! Women really do underestimate me. When we're at university and you can't figure out a problem, don't come crying to me. Unless you've got 10 or 20 million ready, then we can talk. Cole, can you please be serious for once? The national exam is next week. Don't you still want to study in Yandu? Seeing me staring at her again instead of studying, with zero attention on the work in front of me, Stella is equal parts frustrated and flustered. Why are boys always like this? If you want to keep looking, then you better put in the effort now. Otherwise, how are we ever going to be together? I wiped the corner of my mouth. I am being serious. Stella, you're just too beautiful. I couldn't help getting a little distracted. Stella shakes her head. There's just no winning with this guy. If you don't get into Yandu, I'm done talking to you. We'd barely see each other. I take her hand. Relax. Northstar releases results tomorrow. You'll see. I'll be right there with you at Northstar. What major should I pick? Maybe I'll join you in the medical school. That way I can keep an eye on you. And make sure no clueless fools come chasing after you. Stella puffs up indignantly. Cole, I've told you. Stop daydreaming and be realistic. A beautiful girl, even when she's angry, still stunning. The heavens really did spoil Stella, while the two of them are deep in exam crunch mode. The Northstar Academy online forum is blazing with speculation about tomorrow's results. Ever since the exam wrapped up, the buzz around Northstar selection process has never cooled. This year's paper is being called the hardest in the exam's history. Even second and third year Northstar students struggled to get through all the questions within the time limit. Many are guessing that simply passing is enough to guarantee admission this year. In past years, the baseline was always 70% or higher, expected, given that the applicants are top scholars from across the country. This year, hitting 70% might be enough to crack the top 100. 80% in any previous year would have made someone a serious contender for Scholar Prodigy. As for 90% or above, the consensus is that no student could possibly manage that this year. The difficulty was intentional. Northstar designed it that way. In an era of increasingly brutal competition, they set out to find the truly gifted, to see just how far the next generation could go. Because of the staggering difficulty, everyone is watching closely to see who this year's Scholar Prodigy will be. The forum moderator puts it plainly in a post. This year's Scholar Prodigy will be the most significant one in Northstar's history, bar none. With the hype at full force, everyone waits with extraordinary anticipation. The top candidates, gifted students from across the country, are being hounded by media from every direction. The only one nobody has managed to track down is Stella. The Tianhai press couldn't possibly have guessed that the person they've been searching for has been spending every day tutoring me, leaving no time for interviews. Hey, wasn't there a student from Tianhai who turned in the exam early, said it was easy, and claimed he got a perfect score? Could he actually be the Scholar Prodigy? The guy above has clearly had too much to drink. Ignore him. I know who that is. He's Tianhai's famous Wastrel, known for never studying a day in his life. He probably paid for that invitation. Scholar Prodigy, give me a break. Stop guessing. We'll all know tomorrow. The internet is on fire. My side of the world is perfectly calm. What's there to discuss? I used the math solver card. A perfect score was never in question. If I couldn't claim the Scholar Prodigy title after that, the system would owe me a serious refund. That would be an insult to everything the lousy system upgraded in me. Since Stella's busy checking her results today, she's given me the day off, which means I get to sleep in. I wonder what expression she'll have when she sees my name on that list. Congratulations, host, on completing the main quest, a perfect score on every subject. Admitted to Northstar Academy. All rewards have been distributed. Now join Hua's greatest institution of learning and begin your legend anew. The system's chime is what wakes me up. I sit up and open the main dashboard. Host, Cole. Manufacturing level, 2. Prestige, 10,500. Wealth, 28.6, 2 million. Appearance, 90. Base science stats. Math, 61. Physics, 60. Chemistry, 60. Biology, 60. Computing, 60. Language, 100. Over 10,000 prestige points. I am deeply satisfied. Main quests deliver, every time. 1 exam, 10,000 prestige points. That's 10 whole points I can distribute across my base science stats. A few more runs like this and I'll be unstoppable. The excitement fades just enough for a thought to surface. A prestige spike this large always draws attention. and a perfect score scholar prodigy is always the main suspect. I'm going to need to prepare for what comes next. I rush downstairs. Lily is making lunch. Where's Dad? At the office. What's wrong? Lily blinks, confused. I'll call him myself. There may be a wave of reporters heading to the office today looking for me. He needs to get security ready, and there'll probably be people showing up here too. Someone needs to give the building security a heads up. Sweetheart, what exactly is going on? Lily's heart rate picks up. I flash her a grin. Mom, did you forget? Today is the day Northstar releases its results. Seems like it, but what does that have to do with us? Lily couldn't make sense of it. I aced the exam with a perfect score, earning the title of top scholar. I grinned and said, oh right, let me go check how Stella did. I bolted back upstairs, leaving Lily standing there in a daze. Her son Cole, a perfect score at Northstar Academy, the top scholar? What kind of insane joke was this? Over at Stella's house, Stella looked just as spooked. She stared at the results announcement, blinking over and over. How could this be? Was she seeing things? Or had Northstar's system made a mistake? A perfect score paper goes through multiple rounds of verification, including surveillance footage from the exam room. There was no way this was a misread. Not far from the SU family home, at the Lynn residence, Iris Lynn had collapsed to the floor, her face drained of all color as the memory of her bet with me came crashing back. It's over. I actually have to confess to him? Wouldn't that make her the awful girl who steals her best friend's guy? Cole was such a jerk. Victor was in the middle of a board meeting. They were discussing the patent management company I had proposed. Just then, a swarm of media crews descended on the company lobby. Even Tianhai TV had sent a crew. The lobby was nearly blocked. They said they were all here to interview you, sir. Some were pushing for exclusive sit-downs. We couldn't hold them back. What on earth was going on? But something clicked in his mind almost immediately, and his expression shifted. Had the graphene battery leaked? But that was still in the lab. Safety testing hadn't even finished, let alone device installation. Dragon Crest wouldn't expose themselves like that, would they? The reporters are camped out downstairs right now, insisting they won't leave until they see you, sir. Lock down the interview arrangements and get them to wait in the reception room first. What is it they actually want to talk about? Starlight Technology just pulled through a near bankruptcy. There's barely anything to report on our end. It's chaos downstairs. I rushed up to let you know. I didn't get the full story. It seems to be about young Master Cole. Something about young Master Cole becoming the top scholar. What? Victor and every person in that conference room turned to stare at Hong. Hong, what top scholar? Victor's voice came out slightly unsteady. That Wastrel son of mine, he was actually telling the truth? Damn, he actually got into Northstar Academy? And as a top scholar? Mr. Gu, why don't we check right now? A young manager was already pulling it up on his laptop. Victor rushed over to the screen. First place, Cole Gu of Tianhai, 350 points. The manager asked, Mr. Gu, is there anyone else in Tianhai with the same name as young Master Cole? It really is young Master Cole, another trusted aide exclaimed. When I went to pick up the admission tickets, it was his name, and since we registered late, his exam number was near the back of the list. Victor threw his head back and roared with laughter. I knew Cole wouldn't let me down. Northstar Academy? He makes it look easy. Congratulations! Young Master Cole has been named top scholar. The sky's the limit. Congratulations, Mr. Gu. What wonderful news. Cheers to young Master Cole. Top of the list. Mr. Gu, surely this calls for a celebration. Ha! I'm over the moon. Of course we're celebrating. Hong, get the word out. We're celebrating my son's acceptance to Northstar Academy. All Starlight Technology employees get 3 days off at double pay. And everyone gets a 20% performance bonus this month. Hong lit up with joy. Long live Mr. Gu. The partnership with Dragon Crest had the whole industry green with envy. But only the people at Starlight Technology knew just how brutal the workload had been lately. 3 extra days off felt like rain after a long drought. Mr. Gu, Dragon Crest is pressing hard on the project timeline. Is 3 days too long? It's fine. Victor waved it off without a second thought. I'll handle it with Vera. He wondered what kind of faces the UA family would pull when they found out Cole had gotten into Northstar Academy. The ties between the GU family and the UA family had always run through Lily's side. Most of the UA family looked down on Victor and me alike, especially since I had the reputation of a wastrel, though Vera was a different story entirely. That woman judged entirely by looks. I happened to meet her standards, so she couldn't care less how much of the family fortune I burned through. Then again, Vera had always had a soft spot for me. So when Dragon Crest publicly announced the partnership with Starlight Technology, it wasn't long before the rumors started flying. But if I actually wanted to marry into the UA family, by the UA family's own clan rules, that was essentially impossible. Especially now, the UA family was quietly moving toward grooming Vera as the next generation heir. Under those circumstances, someone like me wouldn't even register on their radar. Of course, I could still play the role of Vera's secret little kept man, as long as I didn't make a scene. The people at the very top never really bothered about these kinds of arrangements. Victor was already planning to show off my Northstar acceptance to Vera in person, but Vera already knew. She thought of that boy who used to trail eagerly behind her every time they met, flattering her, keeping her entertained, and then asking for pocket money. And yet here he was, actually getting into Northstar Academy. It felt surreal. The initial wave of pride and delight passed, and the corner of Vera's mouth curled into an amused smile. A perfect score top scholar, in what everyone called the hardest exam in Northstar's history, and still Hua's most notorious wastrel. Oh, little brother. Once they start digging up your history, you're going to have a world of trouble. Things unfolded almost exactly as Vera had predicted. except the backlash came faster and hit harder. Outside the Ju family's villa complex, a crowd was already gathering. Reporters, classmates, family friends, and students about to sit the national college entrance exam, hoping to absorb some of his luck. If it weren't a high-end residential area, with professional security staff and systems, and I had already given the guards a heads up, that crowd would have stormed right through the front door. I wasn't the type to pass up a moment in the spotlight, and hiding away wasn't my style. That would just be rude. So I took my time getting properly cleaned up and dressed, changed into something clean and sharp, then called over 7 or 8 security guards and made my way to the gate. "Cole's coming out!" A few girls who recognized me gasped. "Wow, that's the top scholar? He's gorgeous." "Stop drooling. Like a rich kid like him would ever look your way." "True. Word is he's already been claimed by the little princess of Dragon Crest." "Ugh, must be nice to be rich." I had no idea I'd just broken a few more hearts without even trying. The moment I reached the gate, a pack of reporters armed with microphones and recorders surged forward like a pack of starving wolves. If it weren't for the electric security gate, I'd have been swallowed whole. "Cole, now that you're the top scholar, how does it feel? The exam was notoriously difficult. How did you manage a perfect score? We heard you spent 2 years of high school abroad. Does that prove foreign education is superior?" "Mr. Cole, I'm from Tianhai Media. Our boss knows you personally. Any chance of a one-on-one?" I cleared my throat and raised a hand to calm the crowd. "Everyone take it easy. There's a small plaza inside the complex. I've already set up seating and refreshments. Ask me whatever you want, nice and slow." The crowd softened. What a thoughtful guy. And here they'd shown up uninvited, yet he was still thinking of them. What a class act. Of course it was just a community plaza, limited space, and setting it up had taken some effort. So spots are limited, 25 total, 10,000 each, 2 people per outlet, max. With that, I pulled out a payment QR code. "Just scan this and pay." Super easy. Every single reporter froze. "What the? You can actually pull that? Wasn't this guy supposed to be the family Wastrel? How was he the one fleecing everyone else?" "Mr. Cole, isn't this a bit much?" I smiled. "The top scholar of Northstar Academy's very first public interview, and I'm only charging 10,000? That's practically giving it away. Word gets out I charge that little and they'll say I really am a Wastrel. So move fast, only 25 spots. Anyone not interested is welcome to leave." A reporter who looked like he ran some indie content account shot back furiously. "Seriously? A rich kid shaking us all down like this? This is outrageous. Let's go. Who needs him? I'll just make something up." I let it roll right off me. "Sure, go ahead, post whatever you want online. I can't stop you right now, but made-up content only pulls traffic for so long. If you want a career in this industry, you need some integrity, right? How long can fiction compete with the real thing?" Let me repeat, this is the top scholar of Northstar Academy's very first public press event. Miss it, and it's gone forever. The bigger outlets understood exactly what I was saying. Phones were already out, budgets being approved. Some reporters just fronted the cash themselves and started scanning. A burly guy pushed to the front and scanned first. Watching the scramble, something clicked in my mind. I should have done market research first. This deal might be underselling. The moment everyone realized 25 seats weren't enough to go around, the rush turned into a frenzy. The top scholar of Northstar's hardest exam in history, Tianhai's very first. And this was his first public press session. Miss this, and no amount of money would bring it back. My heart sank. Way too cheap. No. The price had to go up. Lucky for me, I had no shame. I spoke up without missing a beat. Seeing such enthusiasm from everyone, I'm genuinely touched. "So here's a little bonus offer. For an extra 20,000, you can run a live stream during the session. Guaranteed front row access to the purest first wave of traffic." The crowd went blank. "So 10,000 doesn't even get you a live stream?" This guy was unbelievably shameless. And yet, with me jacking up the price on the spot, no one had any real leverage. They couldn't exactly sneak a stream in, could they? Would those security guards actually get physical? Watching the hundreds of thousands pile into my account, I was pretty satisfied. Small gains were still gains. From the moment that system loaded, my fate was sealed. A life chasing fame and wealth, because that was the only currency this ridiculous system ran on. When they arrived at the little plaza, the reporters' expressions darkened even further. The seating was plastic stools. The refreshments were bottled water and jug tea. Did this whole setup cost more than 500? This was highway robbery. I didn't care what any of them thought. I grabbed the mic, settled into a sofa shaded by a patio umbrella, and announced, "I'm sure none of you want to waste time. 1 question per outlet, no repeats. Let's wrap this up in 30 minutes. What the hell? 30,000 for 1 question. Talk among yourselves, coordinate first. We start in 10 minutes. Every reporter was furious. At this point, nobody was going to waste their slot on how did it feel, or how did you prepare? Any advice for younger students? Or what do you want to study in college? Those questions were dead. 30,000 a slot. If you didn't ask something explosive, you'd basically be throwing money away. The moment time was up, a red-faced female reporter jumped to her feet. "Cole, from what I've gathered, your grades were consistently average all the way from middle school through high school, and now you're the top scholar with a perfect score. Did you obtain this result through improper means?" I almost laughed. "Getting right to it, huh?" "No." Everyone blinked. "That's it? No elaboration, Cole? Your question has been answered." I cut her off. "Next." A reporter with a thick beard stood up. "Dragon Crest has always had close ties with Northstar Academy. Your family just struck a deal with Dragon Crest, and now you're the top scholar. What do you make of that?" "I don't see the connection between those two things. If you're implying something, just say it. But your question is done. Next. Cole, did you become the top scholar by using Dragon Crest connections to get Northstar to let you in through the back door? The next reporter was already on his feet. I had to hand it to them. The bar for this industry was on the floor, no brain required. As far as I know, the GU family has no shortage of descendants, but exactly one of them holds a Northstar undergraduate degree, Vera Yue. So why would they pull strings for an outsider like me when they could just do it for one of their own? And even if someone did try to pull strings, would Northstar Academy be crazy enough to hand the top scholar title to someone who bought their way in? Fair point. That doesn't really add up. Even the most fired-up reporters began to cool down, but one stubborn holdout pressed on. You and Vera Yue are clearly close. Rumors say you're going to marry into the Yue family. In that case, it's not impossible that the Yue family pushed you into Northstar to help Vera secure her inheritance. Marry in? Give me a break. Go ask around Tianhai. The girls chasing me could wrap around the planet twice. Why would I trade all of that to marry into someone else's family? And even if Vera and I were actually a thing, she'd be marrying into the GU family. Got it? The audacity. So you're saying you earned that perfect score and that top scholar title purely on merit? That's right. Right after the exam, I already gave an interview to Tianhai TV. I told them straight up I'd scored perfect. The crowd was clearly still not buying it. Cole, I have it on good authority that you're very close with Dr. Zhang Tao of Heir Group. Everyone knows Dr. Zhang Tao's position in the domestic internet world. He commands an army of elite hackers. Did he steal the Northstar exam paper for you? I shook my head with a sigh. I'm a forgiving person. Throw mud at me, fine. But dragging Dr. Zhang Tao into this? Heir Group's legal team doesn't sit around doing nothing. And to anyone pushing the Yue family angle, think very carefully before you publish. Don't say I didn't warn you when the lawsuit lands. The room snapped to its senses. So much of what they'd been asking was pure speculation and conspiracy theory. I had wound them up so thoroughly that they blurted it all out loud. Some of them were still live streaming. This could get ugly. Cole, since you did score perfect, could you walk us through the problem about the sum of natural numbers equaling -1/12? Finally, a question that wasn't a conspiracy theory. You've all seen the official solution, haven't you? Me explaining it now doesn't prove anything. Ramanujan was a genuine genius. Only he could have come up with something that elegant. The final physics question involved kinetic theory of gases, a university-level topic. How did you answer it? Nobody said high school students aren't allowed to read college textbooks. Given how exceptional you clearly are, why did you go to Westland for high school in the first place? Is your performance a result of a Westland education? Does that mean this year's top scholar actually belongs to Westland, not to Hua? I was speechless. The Hua press corps never ceased to amaze. I kept my composure, shook my head, and smiled. I scored perfect because I'm Cole Gu. It has very little to do with where I studied. I would have scored just as well going to school right here in Tianhai. Going abroad was mostly personal. Care to share? Someone pressed immediately. I didn't mind. I fell for a girl. You all know how popular I am with girls. I was afraid she'd fall for me too, and that a relationship would hurt her studies. So for her sake, I made the hard call and left. All I wanted was to give her the space to focus. That was the only way we'd both have a real future. Can you tell us who she is? Is she sitting the national exam next week? Or did she also get into Northstar? Sorry, you've had more than your share. Next. And just like that, the press session was over. I strolled home without a care in the world. The reporters were escorted out of the complex by security, but that didn't mean their work was done. If anything, it was just getting started. I had underestimated the power of public opinion, and overestimated the integrity of the media. For traffic, these people would write anything and say anything. Even if they got sued or taken down, they'd just delete the account, lay low for a while, and come back under a new name. As the footage from the press session spread online, names began trending one by one. My backdoor deal, Dragon Crest Group, the Yue family, Vera Yue, Tianhai's top scholar, Northstar Academy's integrity in question. Despite me stating again and again during that session that I'd earned my perfect score on merit alone, people still preferred the groundless conspiracy theories. Even on Northstar's own student forum, voices were rising, students questioning the school itself, accusing it of selling out. Their reasoning was simple enough. No high school student could possibly ace that exam in that amount of time. If that wasn't cheating, what was? Some radicals were even calling for a silent protest outside the admissions office, demanding a full investigation into this year's exam. But the school had its own headache it couldn't quite put into words. Think about it. A top scholar, a perfect score paper, of course they'd comb through every detail. If there had been any irregularity, they never would have made it public. But Northstar's official statement was swallowed up almost instantly by the noise. There was nothing to be done. A perfect score was just too hard to believe. When something defies all expectation, people always reach for something to blame. Vera had naturally caught wind of all the rumors online. The legal department had even come asking whether she wanted them to take action. Vera's answer: let it play out. In the current climate, a denial would barely make a dent. Besides, Northstar had already issued a statement. Dragon Crest didn't need to add anything. Little brother, the whole world is questioning you right now. What are you going to do? Vera was certain I wouldn't hide. And honestly, the situation escalating to this point had at least something to do with her own bold remarks to the press on those two occasions. Stella hadn't come looking for me in the past couple of days. The complex was crawling with paparazzi, and she'd watched the press session. She knew the girl I had mentioned, The one I'd gone to Westland for was almost certainly her. She wasn't ready to step into that role just yet, so she couldn't risk the press catching even the faintest trace of a connection. Still, my little speech had left her equal parts flustered and furious. I was the one who'd used a fake engagement to swindle her money and then vanished, and now I'd reframed it as the noble sacrifice of a lovesick boy. The nerve of me, afraid of being tracked down by anyone with ulterior motives. Stella had taken refuge at Iris's place. Watching the flood of accusations online, Stella felt both angry and uncertain. Of course she wanted to believe me, but she'd sat that same paper herself. She'd scored 276, which placed her 5th in the entire country, and I had walked away with 350. It genuinely felt like something out of a fantasy novel. Iris, what do I do? Everyone's saying Cole cheated. Stella had nowhere else to turn but her best friend. Iris hadn't exactly been at peace herself these past few days, but she saw things with a clearer eye. Once Northstar's official clarification came out, she understood. No matter how loud the noise got, nothing was going to change the outcome. I was the top scholar. I had genuinely gotten into Northstar Academy, which meant she had to confess to me. Do you believe him? Iris asked. Stella hesitated. I don't know. Iris tried a different angle. Stella, tell me, do you actually have feelings for Cole? Stella's face went instantly red. Why are you asking it like that? I haven't even figured that out myself. Iris already had her answer. Childhood sweethearts. The damage they could do was something else entirely. A girl as sincere as Stella was never going to be able to hold out. If you like him, then believe in him. No conditions. Besides, you saw Northstar's statement. They said there were absolutely no irregularities with the exam. Stella thought back carefully on me and my studies. She remembered. I'd been sharp as a kid. I was the one who'd taught her to write her numbers 1 through 4. But somewhere along the way, I'd seemed to lose interest in school entirely. Every day I seemed busy with something, always scheming ways to get money out of Victor, slowly earning myself the reputation of a wastrel. But someone that sharp as a child, if I'd just gotten serious again, becoming a genius again would only be natural. Stella quietly found the justification she needed. I get it now, Iris, thank you. I believe Cole. He's always been misunderstood. He's nothing like the useless waste of space everyone makes him out to be. Iris could see it clearly. Stella had completely fallen. Out of a genuine sense of responsibility toward her best friend, Iris said seriously, Stella, think this through. You know what Cole's like. If you actually end up with him, you'll have nothing but headaches for the rest of your life. Iris, what are you talking about? Together? He hasn't even confessed to me. Stella's face went red all over again. True, I had never once said I liked Stella, let alone that I loved her. Instead, I'd sold her a fake engagement and pocketed the cash. I did like her, of course, but we'd known each other so long it had never needed saying. Childhood friends who'd grown up side by side. I had long since claimed her as my own, without ever putting it into words, so I never bothered with the mushy declarations. Iris was internally screaming, Oh, you sweet, clueless girl, wake up! That jerk confessed to me years ago, and he never said a word to you? Then why does he hold your hand like it's the most natural thing in the world, and you just let him? He is absolutely the worst. Stella, that day at Skyreach Manor, you remember the bet he made with me? Bringing it up herself made Iris feel genuinely awkward. Stella nodded. Of course, you have to post that you like him. Stella's expression hadn't changed at all. Iris was baffled. Seriously? That's it? You're fine with him pulling that? He really did get into Northstar Academy, Iris pointed out. I know, Stella said. Stella reached over and took Iris's hand. Cole explained everything to me. He did it for us. And then Stella relayed my entire story to Iris, word for word. Good grief. This girl was way too easy to win over. Heavens above. Could someone please strike that scoundrel Cole with lightning? Iris, relax. I really don't mind. With Cole as your shield, you can focus on your studies without worrying. You told me yourself. You've poured so much into music over the years that the inspiration has run dry. Now that you're heading to university, it's the perfect chance to try something different and break new ground. Now Stella was the one comforting Iris. Let Cole deal with anyone who comes bothering you. And I've been thinking about it these past couple of days. If you confess to Cole, the guys chasing me won't dare make a move either. Thank you, Stella. A 3-way win? More like me winning everything while everyone else told themselves it was fine. Back at the GU residence, Victor and Lily were deep in worry over their son. Victor in particular was furious. The day of the press visits at the company, he'd started out bursting with pride, but the sharp accusations that followed were impossible to dodge. The whole mess had put Victor in a foul mood, and he was starting to regret giving everyone those days off. All he wanted now was to release the graphene battery immediately, and tell the entire world, this is my son's creation. He's no wastrel. He's a once-in-a-generation genius who strikes like thunder when he finally moves. Mom, Dad, I'm fine. That's just how the world works. Sometimes you just have to prove yourself to people who don't even matter. I reassured them, calm and composed as always. Cole, those rumor mongers are despicable. Should I call your grandfather and have those awful people dealt with? Lily hesitated, then spoke up. Starlight's near bankruptcy hadn't really rattled Lily all that much. But now, her precious boy, still not yet 18, was drowning under a tidal wave of accusations and slander. That she couldn't stand. I startled. Mom, don't do anything rash. Grandpa, he's getting on in years. Don't drag him into something this trivial. Besides, your son has been misunderstood his whole life. I can handle this. This is different. Before, it was just talk within a small circle, Lily pushed back, her expression a little uncomfortable. And you did spend money rather freely in the past. This time it's the entire internet piling on, strangers and all, saying whatever they like. I just can't take it. Alright, Mom, trust me, I can handle this. These people have the attention span of a goldfish. Once I actually make a name for myself at Northstar, they'll be lining up to apologize. Son, are you really okay? I've seen you online nonstop these past few days. Please don't do anything reckless. I'm just online watching the show, taking note of just how low human intelligence can sink. Only after I reassured them several times did my parents head downstairs to rest, faces still tight with worry. I, on the other hand, felt perfectly at ease. I pulled my laptop over. Just as Vera had predicted, I wasn't going to hide indefinitely. With nearly 2 months until the school term, I needed to keep myself occupied. The Northstar forum was buzzing. A pack of self-proclaimed young geniuses, endlessly doubting me, refusing to believe someone could do what they couldn't. It was time to make them eat their words. Today, I had already found my student ID number on Northstar Academy's enrollment portal. I could now register an official school account on the forum. I decided to go straight for the jugular, challenge every faculty in the school. Anyone who doubted me could connect live and throw whatever questions they wanted. I wanted every student at Northstar to know I had arrived and they would all bow. That was what it truly meant to stand at the top. The moment I finished registering, a familiar chime rang out in my mind. Ding! A genius's pride must not be challenged. The doubters must be silenced. Main quest: host a public and fully transparent live stream. Defeat all challengers. Quest reward: 5,000 prestige points, 1 charm point, 1 nano panoramic recorder. A main quest? This system really did know me. But wait, hadn't the system always said I had to manufacture everything myself? Why was a recorder showing up as a reward? Was this thing even a real product? Like DITS, I thought it would be something impressive, and it turned out to be barely functional. I had spent so long writing code and tweaking it just to get DITS up to the level of a halfway decent AI. Livestream quests occupy a special category in this system's mission framework, so a finished product reward is perfectly normal. And this one is far more capable, equipped with X-ray vision, scanning functions, and an even smaller form factor. The blueprints are available in the shop. Or, want to try something good for once? You little schemer? Have you just decided to stop spending in my shop entirely? I thought about it. Ever since the system had finished loading, I hadn't topped it up once. Smart move, actually, if I just never spent. Wouldn't every quest come with a free reward? Host, don't get any ideas about taking advantage of this system. Money is meant to be spent, and isn't spending it here far more worthwhile than wasting it on meaningless things out there? I couldn't be bothered to keep sparring with the system. Since the system had dropped a livestream quest, my original plan of challenging every Northstar faculty could use some adjusting. After a moment's thought, I started typing my post. To all my seniors at Northstar, I'm Kolgu. I've long admired Northstar Academy, but after 2 days on this forum, I have to say, I'm disappointed. I expected the chosen few, brilliant young minds with presence and confidence. Instead, I found a pack of bitter critics. That exam paper, was scoring a perfect score really that hard? Those 2 formulas, Euler and Ramanujan, solved them long ago. Is it really so strange that I could too? Or do you simply not know who these legends of mathematics are? And the final physics question, don't even get me started. Is it really that unusual for a high school student to study university-level material? And yet here you are, students of the most prestigious academy in Hua, treating this paper like it descended from the heavens. Embarrassing. Reading through your posts, I'm genuinely worried about Northstar's future. You are supposed to be the pillars of this nation someday. With this kind of thinking, what exactly are you going to contribute? I know you think I'm just showing off, and I'm not the type to talk without giving people a chance to respond. I'll be hosting a live stream soon. Bring all your doubts. My stream will be open to every last one of you. Any faculty covered in my exam, send your best. If I can't school every single one of you, I'll withdraw from Northstar myself. One more thing. Most of the photos of me circulating online are candid shots. Handsome, yes, but they don't quite do me justice. So here's a proper selfie. Feel free to save it, ladies. No charge. And to any senior students, junior students, or female professors looking to get to know me better, hit that follow button. I'll be around. Average looks or below average intelligence need not apply. Let me say it one more time. I am Kolgu. I hold the sun and moon in my hands, and I reach for the stars. There is no one else like me in this world. The moment the post went live, the Northstar forum erupted, and seconds later so did the rest of the internet. My words and my strikingly handsome selfie spread like wildfire. Countless girls became instant fans. Some of what I'd written wasn't exactly respectful to women, but the world judged by appearances, and that was just the truth. The public couldn't help but marvel, so this is Northstar's top scholar. Truly one of a kind. Absolutely outrageous. A backdoor cheat running his mouth like this. If we don't put him in his place, what does that say about us, about Northstar? Honestly, brother, anyone who posts something like this either has serious backing or a death wish. He did stake his entire enrollment on it. Please, it's all posturing. I don't buy it for a second. And this kid handed in his paper early. At the time he finished, even someone copying with the answers in hand couldn't have gone that fast. Something is off. Exactly. He wants to prove himself on a live stream? I'll be there to challenge him. Show him what Northstar pride actually looks like. Excuse me, anyone else think Cole is absolutely gorgeous and want his personal contact, asking for a friend? Unbelievable. Cole, you deserve everything coming to you. Beyond the student community, Northstar's senior leadership and several distinguished professors were also paying close attention. After reading the post, they all had the same thought. This year's top scholar is something else. The president of Northstar Academy, one of Hua's most respected aerodynamics experts, and a dual academician, President Li, had spent the past several days studying my file. He'd read through it more times than he could count. With a student like this entering Northstar, things were certainly not going to be dull. President Li smiled to himself, then picked up the file again and turned to the last page. A photograph of a weathered, aged face. Old he, who knew you were hiding a grandson this interesting? Once I've shaped him into what he can be, I wonder if your family will regret keeping him from me. Vera had graduated and left Northstar years ago, but she still checked the forum from time to time. So she saw the post the moment it went up. Even though she'd expected me not to hide, my response was still surprising enough to catch her off guard. The arrogance of youth. Looking down on the world like it was his to command. Maybe that was just what it meant to be young. With the post up, I turned my mind to logistics, where to host the stream, which platform to use, and how to ensure the whole thing would be completely open and tamper-proof. These were questions that needed proper answers. Otherwise, those people would never truly accept my victory. And live streaming was massive right now. A top scholar going live had to be worth some serious money. I was almost 18, and I hadn't even hit my first financial milestone yet. That was genuinely shameful. Before I even reached out, several well-connected platforms came knocking first. All of them offered to support the stream, completely free of charge. I nearly laughed out loud. Did they think I was born yesterday? I had no patience for these online outfits. Better to work with someone I already knew. The head of Tianhai TV's broadcasting department, along with the reporter who had interviewed me right after the exam. The three of us sat down in a meeting room. Mr. Cole, that's a bit ruthless, don't you think? We're doing all the work, and you want to walk away with 60%? That's too much. I smiled. I was going to ask for 70. The extra 10% is your reward for not posting garbage online lately, and keeping your integrity intact. Though granted, a station like yours has standards. Once Northstar issued their statement, you couldn't exactly pile on. Manager Bai, 40% is plenty. For your station, this is money falling from the sky. That may be, but watching you eat the bigger share just doesn't sit right with me. 50-50, Manager Bai said. I picked up the contract and tucked it away. I'll find someone who'll take 30. Bai. Mr. Cole, wait, I'll sign. I smiled and tossed the contract back on the table. I'll have my lawyer here tomorrow to work out the details. Time is short, so expect some late nights. How much that 40% is worth, that's entirely up to you. And with that, I left. The arrangement with Tianhai TV was straightforward. Tianhai TV would hold the exclusive rights to host the stream. Before the stream went live, they could sign sponsors, place links in the stream room, and even sublicense the broadcast rights to other platforms. How the stream was run was entirely Tianhai TV's call. The one condition: watching must be free, and the footage must be fully open and transparent. When it was all over, 60% of every cent earned would go to me, 40% to Tianhai TV. Boss, a contract this high profile, will the station director have a problem with it? The female reporter asked, a little uneasy. A problem? This is the top scholar of Northstar Academy. His stream is a battle of knowledge, a clash of the brightest minds of a generation. Is there a more wholesome live stream concept out there? Manager Bai was practically buzzing. Every trace of the anguish from the negotiation table completely gone. Go get the word out. Full staff meeting in the conference room, live stream department, right now. Everyone's bonus this year depends on what we pull off here. In the meeting room, once Manager Bai finished laying it out, most of the staff understood exactly what they were looking at. This was money falling from the sky. How much they grabbed was entirely up to them. First move, release the news that we've locked down the exclusive broadcast rights. The big online platforms will come to us. The online impact of this story was simply too big to ignore. But boss, if we sublicense the broadcast rights, won't we be splitting our traffic too? Someone asked. Manager Bai replied, we're a TV station. We've never been great at pulling young online audiences anyway. This event's heat will fade eventually. For us, traffic is secondary. Money is what matters. Brilliant, boss. However, live challenge connections must run through our channel. We can't give away that kind of visibility. Sell off everything and it loses value. Give them the footage. Keep the connection channel. Then there's the advertising side. We are a broadcaster. We need to vet our sponsors carefully. We can afford to leave some money on the table here. Otherwise, we'll have a hard time explaining it upstairs. Every person in the room was furiously taking notes, already dreaming of their end-of-year bonus. Beyond the online side, there's also money to be made on the ground. Cole said himself. The venue needs to be large, with a full 360-degree view. We'll give him exactly that. Boss, you're not thinking about charging admission, are you? Admission? We are a television station. We have standards. We don't pick the pockets of ordinary people. Then how do we make money on the ground? Short-form video is exploding right now. Independent creators are everywhere. Who wouldn't want footage of the live stream venue from the ground? We'll even let them stream it themselves for a fee. They'll need to keep their distance and not interfere with Cole's stream. Coordinate with security on this. Don't cut corners on the budget. Boss, you're a genius, one of his staff said, laying it on thick. Sublicensing, sponsorships, merchandise, paid on-site filming, all three channels firing at once. Manager Bai, it had to be said, was sharp. When Manager Bai's preliminary plan came through, I was satisfied. Fame and fortune took their toll, but for the sake of humanity's future, I supposed I'd just have to endure. I was confident about the stream, but the challengers coming my way were going to be prepared, and that meant I needed to be too. First, dump all 10,000 of my newly earned prestige points into stat upgrades, focusing heavily on math and physics. Those two subjects would draw the toughest challenges. With math at 64 and physics at 63, I could handle whatever came. Beyond the stat upgrades, I spent the remaining 500 prestige points, buying 2 problem-solving cards from the shop as backup, just in case my mind blanked at a critical moment. With all of that in place, I leaned back and relaxed, just waiting to crush every challenger who dared show up. The people around me, however, were a wreck. Stella even offered to join the stream and help me face the harder questions together. I turned her down. My glorious university life hadn't even started yet, countless girls waiting to be charmed, all of that ahead of me. I couldn't afford to get tied down. Besides, I was already drawing enough jealousy from other guys. No point making it worse. The day finally arrived. I showed up at Tianhai TV as promised. The venue, the center of Haitian Grand Plaza, right in front of the station. Partnering with Tianhai TV had been the right call. There was no question about that. Professional equipment of every kind, comprehensive security checks and technical run-throughs, professionals doing professional work. Mr. Cole, ready? Manager Bai asked. Of course. I looked completely relaxed. Then we go live. All departments, final checks. Countdown begins in 1 minute. I didn't appear on screen right away. A host first walked the audience through what the stream was about and how the challenges would work. Without further ado, let's hand the floor to today's star, Tianhai's first ever top scholar, the first perfect score recipient since Northstar began its independent enrollment process, and widely acclaimed as the most handsome young man in Tianhai, Cole Gu. Brows like distant mountains, eyes like stars, features sculpted and proud, a smile playing at the corner of my lips, a plain white shirt, the look of an ordinary student, and yet I outshone the blue sky itself. I stood in the afternoon sun, young, radiant, the kind of person who made the world look better just by being in it. Oh wow, he's gorgeous, save me. Someone that good looking couldn't possibly cheat, they're just jealous. Is it a crime to be both beautiful and brilliant? Comments flooded every stream room instantly. Everything that needed saying I had already written in that Northstar forum post, and the host had just covered the rest. So let's get straight into it. I hope you all bring something worth my time. I really didn't want my first live stream to be a total snooze. Still this arrogant? Cole, I believe in you always. The audacity has consequences, waiting for this to blow up in his face. Honestly, a blow-up would make better content. Tragic that I'm too dumb to even challenge him. I didn't have time for the comments right now. Following protocol, I was undergoing a full body scan, confirming I had no hidden communication or smart devices on my person. Passing the check without a hitch, I finally felt a quiet appreciation for what DITS could do, because not one of those scanners could tell that the plain little ring on my finger housed a super AI, though with DITS's current capabilities, it wouldn't be much help during the actual stream. I had just gotten used to wearing it. It was a system creature. Keeping it on at all times made things easier. Alright, we'll start by pulling one comment from the stream to respond to. Say whatever you want, send it in. Just note, I can only see comments from Tianhai TV's main stream room. The challenger face-offs were the main event, but the regular viewers watching from home deserve some attention too, hence the comment response segment. A so-called battle of knowledge, and yet it's been hyped up like a circus. Sponsors, sub-licensing, the works. Does Mr. Cole really love money this much? Isn't this a bit undignified? Whether Tianhai TV had rigged the draw, or my luck was just rotten. Out of all the adoring comments flooding in, this was the one that got pulled. I cleared my throat. Yes, I do need money. Honestly, I wish every dollar in the world would come straight to me. Mr. Cole is refreshingly honest, but years from now you'll understand. Every cent I earn will eventually flow back into this world and touch every one of you. I earn money to benefit all of humanity, to push open the doors of our future. Mr. Cole is perhaps not quite so honest after all. The path ahead leads to research. That much is certain. Do you have any idea how expensive research is? Do you know what it costs to develop a chip, to bring a new drug to market, to develop a new material, to retain the world's best minds? We can't go begging the government every time we need something done. I've never had the habit of depending on others. My dad taught me from the time I was small, spend your own money, or at most your dad's. That's the only way to feel truly free. So tell me, what exactly is wrong with people like us? Scientists who fight for humanity's future, making money, who decided we're not allowed? Mr. Cole certainly has a way with words, though what he says does make a fair amount of sense. You're just not quite a researcher yet, let alone a scientist. Alright, we'll pull more comments later. For now, let's welcome today's first challenger. Hello Cole, I'm a mathematics doctoral candidate at Dongri University. There's a problem I'd like to discuss with you. A doctoral candidate. My expression sharpened slightly. This was an opening move designed to put me on the back foot. Every challenger showing up today would be top tier, young talents, all under 26. Each of them had first sat through a qualifying exam designed by high-level members of the Northstar Forum, and only those who passed had been allowed to connect today. This was about protecting Northstar's reputation. I was still the top scholar after all. Not just anyone could walk up and throw a question at me. Even after passing the qualifying round, the Northstar Forum team still ran a final vetting process. A battle of knowledge had been promised, and a battle of knowledge it had to be. Go ahead. Math is something I happen to know a thing or two about. Prove that any integer greater than 5 can be expressed as the sum of 3 prime numbers. I froze. This guy was here to cause trouble. Why isn't he saying anything? That doesn't look too hard, does it? He's not actually stuck, is he? Ha! So much for all that arrogance. He's gone completely quiet. I had barely paused for a few seconds before the keyboard warriors were already pouncing. The state of public education still had a long way to go. This many people not recognizing Goldbach's conjecture. And this doctoral candidate was being deliberately sneaky. If he'd phrased it as every even number greater than 2 can be expressed as the sum of 2 primes, everyone would have recognized it immediately. Goldbach's conjecture, the one we're proving it, would instantly elevate any university by 3 tiers. That's a famous unsolved problem. Is this guy seriously just here to cause problems? The audience was finally catching on. I spoke plainly. I can't solve this one right now, but don't worry. Within 3 years, I'll have a proof. I said it in the most casual tone imaginable, and it was possibly the most audacious thing I'd ever said in my life. Prove Goldbach's conjecture in 3 years? If I actually pulled that off, I'd be looking at a top 10 spot in the history of mathematics, and I'd barely be past 20 years old. What kind of monster is this guy? Absolutely unhinged. I'll bet you anything. If you actually do it, I'll stand on my head and eat dirt. Typical young arrogance. Countless brilliant minds in Hua have spent lifetimes failing to fully prove Goldbach's conjecture. The way he dismisses it is genuinely offensive. Maybe he actually can. Someone that handsome couldn't possibly lie. Mods, are you there? Can we please ban the brainless ones? Killing the vibe. Okay everyone, this guy is being misogynistic. I've got his username saved. Mass report, let's go. That was the nature of a high-traffic stream. The host barely had to do anything, toss out a couple of words, and the comments took on a life of their own. Cole, that was just a little joke to start things off. I've actually been doing research in number theory functions lately, and when I read through your proof of Euler's famous identity, I noticed your method was quite original. I personally have no doubts about you whatsoever. I'm really here more to exchange ideas with a fellow student. After all, mathematics is a young person's game. I smiled. You should have led with that. I thought you were here to start a fight. Thank you, senior. What is it you'd like to explore? My proof did use a somewhat unconventional approach. But honestly, Euler's original proof is already elegant and clean. I'd say the two are on roughly equal footing. You introduced infinite series of tangent and cotangent functions, then used the cotangent series to complete the proof. I'm genuinely curious how that came to you. I replied, well, as you know, I'm still just a high school student. My knowledge has its limits, so I could only work with what I had. By applying a substitution and working through the transformation, L'Hopital's rule gets you to the answer. When you get down to it, it was just in-the-moment problem-solving under exam conditions. The doctoral candidate laughed. Since when did you become humble, Cole? Listening to you, I feel like maybe I don't need to go back and review my fundamentals after all. Fundamentals never go out of style. Even at the doctoral level, sitting in on an undergraduate class now and then might spark something unexpected, especially in mathematics, which demands imagination above all else. Grinding through problems alone won't always get you there. Genuine advice. Understood. Thank you, Cole. If you ever come to Japan, look me up. I'll show you around. You won't be disappointed. Something flickered in my eyes. Japan's entertainment districts? I've heard they're on many men's bucket lists. I wonder if our doctoral friend here has any connections in that department. Well, I won't take up any more of your time. Goodbye. A friendly reminder to the challengers still in line. You don't need to bring math questions, unless you genuinely intend to throw one of the world's unsolved problems at Cole. Those were his parting words before he cut the connection, and the very next challenger walked in with the Poincaré conjecture. I was so irritated I burned a problem-solving card on the spot. After that, the remaining challengers were visibly rattled. Several of them couldn't even bring themselves to present the problems they'd prepared, and instead, like the first doctoral candidate, just exchanged a few casual words with me, before quietly slipping away. After I went on to demonstrate my mastery in chemistry and biology as well, not a single person in any stream room was left questioning the worth of my top scholar title. Meanwhile, over on the Northstar forum, students had already started posting apologies under their real names, promising to treat me to a meal once the semester began. Hold on, we've worked through plenty of problems. Let's pull a few more comments to respond to. I'm not the kind of person who disconnects from his audience, spending the whole time on problems nobody can follow. That's a blow to everyone's self-esteem. Excuse me, I understood everything. I actually solved it myself. Streamers got no faith in us. If you're so great, come to Ning'an. We'll treat you to the best spicy hot pot of your life. Watching the stream fill with question marks and mock outrage, I felt genuinely happy. Ordinary people were always more entertaining than so-called geniuses. Streamer, what's the next line after startled wild geese rise but cannot form their letters? No searching allowed. I almost laughed when I saw it. Were the humanities students staging a rebellion? The next line is, in this moment fallen leaves drunk with the knowledge of autumn. It's from a poem by Huang Tingjian. Of course, the phrase one leaf heralds autumn originally comes from the Huainanzi. Huang Tingjian is drawing on that classical allusion. I answered. That's such an obscure poem. How does he know it? He's strong in the humanities too? This guy really does know everything. He's officially my idol from this moment on. I continued. I'm not particularly strong in language arts, but classical poetry I do know a little something about. After all, I've written thousands of love letters in my time. Stella and Iris were watching the stream together. The moment Stella heard that, her face went pale. Thousands of love letters, and she hadn't received a single one? Iris didn't look much better, so she was just 1 in 1,000, and she'd actually let her heart flutter over it for a while. Iris, is Cole actually a player? Stella asked. Iris was speechless. Did that really need asking? But she still did her best for her friend. You know how Cole talks, he's just showing off. Thousands of love letters. If he wrote one a day, it would take him years. Not possible. True. Stella nodded. Though honestly, I had no idea he was this good. I couldn't solve a single one of those problems, and he answered every last one. And here I was spending days tutoring him. I could die of embarrassment. Look at it this way. He already commands university-level knowledge, and he sat there patiently listening to you explain high school material. That says a lot about how much he cares. Iris had no idea how she'd ended up defending me, but Stella's face bloomed with warmth. Was that really it? She thought back to those 2 weeks spent side by side with me, and all she felt was sweetness. Watching me on the screen, her eyes were practically overflowing with it. He's incredible. I wonder what his love letters actually said. I stopped waiting for the station to feed me prompts and just started chatting with the comments myself. Ha! I may have exaggerated slightly just now. At my level of attractiveness, people chase me, not the other way around. The kind of girl who earns a love letter from me, she's no ordinary person. Tell us, which girls have actually gotten one? Romantic gossip was always the most irresistible content. Faced with a screen full of pleading, I wasn't going to disappoint. This was right when I started middle school. The first stirrings of something, I didn't quite know what. I didn't really understand it then. All I knew was, if I could win over a girl that no one else could, wouldn't that prove I was something special? So I made my move. And what happened? Was it the school beauty? Queen? School beauty queen? You're seriously underestimating me. Across all of Tianhai, I can say with confidence, no girl was more beautiful and no girl had more presence. So, did you win her over? I curved my lips into a smile, completely unruffled, and continued with full confidence. I was 12, one line, a lotus rising from clear water, beautiful, without any adornment, and she was completely, helplessly captivated. No way, seriously? That worked? Just like that? Is classical poetry really that powerful? You're lying. I tried that exact line and got nothing. You don't understand. I changed one character. I hid her name inside the line itself, showing her the origin of her own name. With someone as attentive, talented, and easy on the eyes as me, how could she resist? I'm actually from Tianhai. We were even at the same middle school. Cole, are you talking about Iris Lin? I went to Tianhai #1 as well. From what I remember, Iris Lin never dated anyone in middle school. She threw herself into studying and barely showed up after a while. Seeing the comments starting to piece things together, I knew I was about to be found out. I quickly pulled up the next comment from Tianhai TV's queue. All of that is ancient history now. The feelings of youth fade like wind. Let's see what other interesting questions the stream has for us. Back at Stella's house, Stella turned to Iris with a look full of confusion. Iris, you and Cole had a thing back in middle school?